Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple Beth of Great Neck. I've been practicing this Siestok and Yoregelt. Yes. The Hungarians.
Which is Hungarian for what?
For Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
No.
Awesome.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. My name is Cantor Vladimir Lapin. I'm so excited to see you here as we are celebrating Shabbat and as we are celebrating with Simon and Abel as they are called to the Torah and become bar mitzvah. As we are starting our services, a couple of guidelines just to help us out. Make sure your cell phones are turned off or on silence, no photography. Make sure you have a prayer book, it's our Siddur, in front of you. We are going to announce all our page numbers. As people are coming late, I would ask you to please remind people to turn their cell phones off and to also show them if they need help with their prayer books. And join with us in all our prayers. They're transliterated. If you can't read Hebrew, we need your help. We need your voices. We need your spirits. Join with us as we really get into Shabbat, as we celebrate, as we feel connected to something bigger than us. And so this very easy prayer has absolutely no words. It's just yai dai 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 dai, which sometimes you don't need any words because it really comes through. And so join with us as soon as you're comfortable. Ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 da da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 ya da dai 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 dai
Shabbat Shalom. I mentioned this last night. I had the great pleasure of seeing the boss. It's because you're in a synagogue, you're confused. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's good, isn't it? Who's the boss? Springsteen. And my dear friend Ted and I, as it ended, I said to him, Ted, I feel like I've just left a prayer service. He's like, what do you mean? There's no ritual. Where's the ritual? I said, what are you talking about? Where's the ritual? Every one of these songs is a prayer. Every one of his songs is a prayer reflecting on the past and the challenges and the joys and the love and the failures of the past. Every one of his prayer, each of his prayers, many of the prayers deal with some extraordinary dream, aspiration for oneself. One of his songs is called The Promised Land. Ooh, that's cool as a Jew, right? So the purpose of prayer is to be able to touch any and all of those places inside. And when done well, we have moments in which we realize, wow, I just went somewhere. I had some meaningful moment. It was kind of, I guess you could say maybe out of body, but out of my typical structured self. And the way our service works every morning is we start in a very logical place, focus on how lucky we are to arrive at this place, that our bodies are working well enough to get us to this place. And then we're going to reflect it in the prayers on the capacity to ask questions and explore and learn and master and be curious. And then there's prayers about the soul, then the Shema, about connection and love and how to reach out to each other. So let's begin.
And my prayer has been answered because the AC was turned off, so we're on a roll.
It all starts with
the
body. It all starts with the body, say the rabbis, which is why we're on page 76. I thought that I was the answer to her prayers, but I had nothing to do with the heat going on, okay, or the air conditioner going off. Okay, page 76. We're going to start a little English just to warm ourselves up, but it is a pretty big deal to wake up in the morning and get ourselves out of bed and into a contemplative space. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them, just one, be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai. Rofecho basar mafli la'asot. On page 78, Elohai Neshama, the soul that you gave me, dear God, it's pure. Whatever it looked like yesterday, today I have an opportunity to reveal its purity.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Teorai. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Ata berata, ata yitzarta, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata mishamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi.
Turning to page 80, we move into what we call the Nisim B'chol Yom, the miracles of every day. They're just simple prayers offering kind of an acknowledgement of all the little gestures of waking up, opening our eyes, stretching, putting our feet on the ground, getting dressed. Each one is a miracle. We never realize that till maybe something happens and we can't do one of them. But the goal of prayer is actually to make us take wonder when we still have those things, to really taste them, to digest them. And so the language is fancy, but the intention is pure and simple. It's a beautiful thing to watch this running translation from English to Hungarian in the front row. We actually all need a translation all the time, especially for prayer. We do it often when we come together, but it feels opaque to many of us. What is this? This is about being present in this moment for every breath, for every blink, for looking around, for seeing who's here. And they're also whispering behind each of these words and each of these praises as little gateways for how we can enter into partnership with each other and with God. So we're going to begin each blessing in Hebrew and then bridge to the English, and or join in with an amen, or do all of the above. page 80. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen angel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the water.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids.
84.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew, or whatever spiritual path I follow.
Amen, amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. And some words of Torah, some teachings of Torah on page 88. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shi'ur, she'adam ochel perotehem ba'olam hazeh, va'keren kayemet lo le'olam haba. Let's read together in 88. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit in this world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother. Hear that, our B'nai Mitzvah boys. Engaging in deeds of compassion. Arriving early for study, morning and evening. Dealing graciously with guests. Visiting the sick. Providing for the wedding couple. Accompanying the dead for burial. Being devoted in prayer. And making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Page 100, Hallelujah.
Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, take a shofar. Hallelujah, benevel v'chinor. Hallelujah, b'tov u'makol. Hallelujah, b'minim ve'ugam. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. תרועה, כל הנשמה תהלל יה.
One last time.
Call up our B'nai Mitzvah as we all rise and turn to page 108.
With your prayer books. With your prayer book.
Prayer book.
Your prayer book.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. We continue on page 110, reading together with Simon and Abel.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, your daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. At the top of page 112. Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu. Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu. Ba'avur Avoteinu Ve'imotenu Shebatchu V'cha V'tilamdein Hukei Chayim Kein Tichonenu Utilamdeinu Kein Tichonenu Utilamdeinu Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu. The top of page 113.
Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or a woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth.
God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are.
We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Avad. Please be seated. We continue on page 116 with the chanting of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele
Asher Anochi Metzavecha Hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha Vedibarta bam Veshivtecha beveitecha Uvlechtecha vaderech Uvshochbecha uvkumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha Vehayu letotafot beineinecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. We read together on page 119, the second reading.
Life without integrity is
like loosely hanging
threads, easily fraying from the main cloth. While in acts of piety, we learn to understand that every instant is like a thread, raveling out of eternity to form a delicate tassel. We must not cast off the threads, but weave them into the design of an eternal fabric. Each day points to eternity. The fate of all time depends upon a single moment. And we continue with the singing of Micha Mocha on page 122. Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Shira hadasha shibechu geulim, Leshimcha al sfat hayam, Yachad kulam hodu, Vehimlichu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai lai continue with the Amidah, our standing prayer on page 124. Please rise. We're going to face the ark. Take your prayer book. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה, אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם, אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה, אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קידושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue on our own, seated or standing, as is your custom, and we'll meet up again at the conclusion of the Amidah on page 142. Continue at your own pace, in your own way.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
I missed your voice, Cantor. Jerusalem has a lot of things, but it's missing one. We now turn to our Torah service. It begins on page 244. We will all rise. I'll have our B'nai Mitzvah come on up. Come on, Simon and Abel. And for the honor of opening the Ark, Agnes Ranchberg, come on up. And of course, Robert and Judith Lang. A journey of many destinations to get to this moment, many generations.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז למו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי והלבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם בניסדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
248.
ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh איתי ונרומם שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל לראש. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה.
You may be seated. If you'd like to follow along in a Chumash, we're in the book of Numbers, chapter 21, the beginning of the chapter. Our Chumashim are just outside the chapel. And for the honor of the first Aliyah, I call up Paul and Joanne Davis.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן.
וישמע הכנעני מלך ערד יושב הנגב, כי בא ישראל דרך האתרים. וילחם בישראל ואיש ממנו שבי. וידר ישראל נדר לאדוני ויאמר, אם נתון תיתן את העם הזה בידי והרמתי את עריהם.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
For the second Aliyah, Mickey and Bori. This is the only family that has ever brought up a musical score. That's amazing. That's kavod.
Vayishma Adonai Bekol Israel Vayiten et Haknaani Vayacharem ethem ve'et orehem Vayikrashem Hamakom Chorma Vayisuhu Mehor Hachar Derek Yamsu Lisivov et Eret Edom Natiktzar Nefesh Ha'am Badar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chaye olam natat betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so in a moment, Abel, I'm going to say in Hebrew. I'm going to tell you the English of what I'm going to say in Hebrew is stand, stand, or rise, rise, rise. The young man bar mitzvah, and I'll say your Hebrew name. And then the last word is chazak. And this is the moment, the moment you offer the blessing itself, Baruch Hu Atah Adonai, that's the moment you become a bar mitzvah. And the call to you as a bar mitzvah, we haven't talked about this before. I don't warn you all for this. But it's about you standing up with a kind of strength that you have. I mean, look at you. You're taller than your mom, even though she has heels on. But exactly. You have a physical strength to you, Abel, and you have a deep inner strength that you're working on in a beautiful and intentional way. And this moment it comes to affirm that and celebrate that. Okay? Here, I'm going to call you up now. Yamod, Yamod, Yamod. Habachora bar mitzvah. Moshe ben. Where's your Hebrew name again? Ben Lior Vabori. Chazak. Got it? Just waiting for you.
Oh, my bad. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Toratov. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber ha'am belohim uv'Moshe lama ha'elitunu mimitzrayim lamut bamidbar ve'en mayim ki ein lechem ve'en mayim v'nashenu kata ba'alehem haklokel. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet ve'achei olam nata betochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Beautifully done. All right. Mazalto. You can sit. Okay. Abel, your brother. Time for your brother.
For the fourth Aliyah, Joel and Debbie Weinberger. Ya'amdu l'Aliyah Revi'i.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayavo ha'am el Moshe vayomeru chatanu ki dibarnu Adonai vavach hitpalel el Adonai vayaser me'aleinu et hanachash vayitpalel Moshe be'ad ha'am vayomer Adonai el Moshe aseh lecha sarav vesim oto al nes vayaha kol hanashu vera'a oto vahai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayas.
Parents, take two. Ya'amdu la'aliyah chamishi.
We need our notes.
Baruch et Adonai Hamorach,
Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahanu mikol ha'amim, ונתנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Vayas Moshe נחושת וישימהו על הנס ויהה אם נשך הנחש את איש והביט על הנס הנחושת והי ישימהו על בני ישראל ויהנו באבות.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן לנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
This is the moment for you, Simon, where you become bar mitzvah. It's not the chanting of the Torah, as we said. It's the moment you offer the blessing, okay? So I'm going to call you right now. Yamod, 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 Abachor bar mitzvah. Shimon ben Lior v'Bori Chazak.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch ata Adonai Lam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayiseu me'ovot vayahanu be'iye ha'avarim bamidbar asher al penei Moav mimizrah hashamesh misham nasa'u vayahanu benahar zared. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We now turn to page 253 to offer Misha Berach, our prayer for healing.
Sheberach Avotenu
Mekor
Habracha Leimotenu, the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And on 258, prayer for a congregation, calling up Seppi and Merdad, Javaheri and Kohanim.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts be fulfillment and joy.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And for all you do. You're praying. No more fitting people to pray for our community. And the prayer for the nation will be offered by Jack and Irene Yachbez. I hope I did the name right. Still on page 258.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen. And the prayer for Israel will be offered by Marjan Kapur and Jonathan Greenblatt. We're on page 259.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Let us now offer in Hebrew.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו, הגן עליך בעברת חסדך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלום לך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ושלח אורך ועמיתך לרשעך שרך ויועצך ותקנם עצה טובה מלפניך, ותקנם עצה טובה מלפניך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ביושביה.
For the honor of raising Torah, we call up Mickey, and Bori will assist us in dressing the Torah with some help from Elaine. Of course, when the Torah rises, we do as well. And the words we offer, the bracha, as the Torah is raised, can be found on the bottom of 252.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. ילאי לי 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 ילאי לי ילאי לי ילאי לי 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 ילאי לי 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 ילאי לי ילאי לי לי Only if you want to. You no? Okay, then go sit. Please be seated.
Good morning and Shabbat Shalom. Listen, you rebels, These are the words that Moses spoke to the Israelites. It's true. I think he really did scream them. Let me explain why I'm beginning here. In my parashah, the Israelites have been free from Egypt for about a year. They don't know the wilderness. They don't know where their food or water will come from. They are scared. They're scared. They complain bitterly. All of their fear and bitterness is understandable, but it's also a problem. They were just slaves in Egypt, an awful and terrible experience. But now it seems to them that the slavery of Egypt was better than the freedom of the wilderness. God hears their fear and pain. God tells Moses to take his rod and to gather the Israelites. Then God says something amazing. Debartem, speak to the rocks, they will give forth water. That was pretty weird when I first read it. Speak to the rock. The Torah describes that Moses actually does. He speaks to the people in this angry, mean-hearted way. Listen, you rebels. He doesn't seem to recognize how understandable it is that they are scared. And then, finally, he strikes the rock. Yes, water does come out of the rock, but Rabbi Meir taught me that Moses paid dearly for this moment in his life. Since Moses struck the rock rather than spoke to the rock, God did not allow Moses to enter into the promised land. In discussing this with Rabbi Meir, I realized that this passage has a lot of themes in it. Leadership is an important theme. Faith in God is also. I think that there are two matters of faith here, the faith of the Israelites and also the faith of Moses. Lastly, there's a theme that I know about and hear about a lot, reacting with anger and force rather than communicating with words. I think that there is a lot of imagery in this portion. Maybe the rock is actually a symbol for the people. The people are kind of hard and insensitive, like a rock. Also, the reason Moses struck the rock is because he really wanted to strike the people. All of this relates to my life as well. In fact, when I began to realize how relevant this is for my life, I was kind of amazed. At first, when my mom and dad told me we might move from Hungary to America, it seemed like a good thing. But when they told me that we were actually moving, I felt upset, mad, and scared. I had to leave behind everyone and everything that I knew. My first year here, I was a very inward person. I didn't talk to many people or share much about myself. There's an expression in Hungarian, visszahúzódó. In English, that means something like you pull yourself back or you isolate yourself from others. That's what my first year or so was like. But by the second year after we moved to Great Neck, many things changed. For example, I joined the soccer team, which brought me together with many people and some of my best friends today. Also, we joined the temple and many people helped me feel welcome. Before my second year here, I didn't realize how this will be such a big opportunity for me and there will be no negative effects. Going away from the people I love doesn't mean that they stop being a part of my life. I was very angry when my parents told me that we were moving. Like Moses, there were quite a few times which I yelled and screamed at my parents, and also a pillow that received a lot of my frustrations. I didn't think that my parents understood how big a deal this move would be for me. In truth, my Torah portion feels that it's just like my own personal story. Now it's kind of cool. Everything I have here, it's kind of like the promised land. For me, all of this relates as well to my family's journey, towards a land with a lot of promise. Rabbi Meir asked me to speak with my grandmothers about what it means for me to become a bar mitzvah. Agnes, my grandma on my dad's side, is very supportive about this. She loves that I'm becoming a bar mitzvah. She likes that her son, my dad, hasn't let the Holocaust stop the Jewish line in my family. Grandma, my mom's mom, over time has become very supportive of this. I am probably the first boy in her family to become a bar mitzvah. Actually, not only that, I am the first man in this family to have a bar mitzvah in 4 generations. Now that I am a bar mitzvah, I have thought about how to continue to grow as a Jewish man. I want to take even more seriously fasting on Yom Kippur. My mom and dad and brother and I have already done that, but as I am officially becoming a man in the Jewish community, this is even more important to me. In a way, fasting on Yom Kippur connects to the Hanukkah idea that in each of the 8 days of Hanukkah, the light keeps growing. It doesn't go out, but instead keeps increasing. There are 2 examples in which I have learned that Judaism has so many great insights into life, and because of them and others. I know that I want to continue learning about Judaism and Jewish life. In preparation for my bar mitzvah, I have done something else very special. Not just learning about Judaism, but learning about my family. I researched my grandma's grandfather, Paul Ranjberg. My great-great-grandpa was a Hungarian psychologist born on January 3, 1870, in Győr, Hungary. I learned a lot about him from reading one of my grandma's articles about her family. He received his MD degree at the University of Budapest in 1894 and founded a psychophysical laboratory that became an independent state institute in 1905. He was made professor in 1918. My great-great-grandpa considered himself and his works as a precursor to the Gestalt theory. Grandpa Ransberg spent enormous time studying the mind. He studied how we humans perceive the world. He studied how elements in the mind tend to either fuse together or separate from one another. His early experiments were repeated and elaborated at Harvard, Oslo, Berlin, and other universities. Though he received many honors from scientific societies abroad, he was never interested in official status or recognition. His laboratory was a simple suite of 3 or 4 rooms, where a small but select group of students worked with him for decades. His last articles were published in 1945 in Hungarian in the memorial volume of psychological studies of the University of Budapest. The title was A Farewell to His Collaborators. It was written in the days of the German military occupation during the summer of 1944, in the terrible weeks immediately before the siege of Budapest. He died on the very last day of the siege, when the city fell to the Russians. My great-great-grandpa was accompanied in death, as in life, by his devoted wife, both victims to undernourishments. In him, the world lost more than a scientist of distinction. He was an unselfish guide and a friend to many, and a man of noble feelings who knew how to suffer in silence. I feel grateful to have learned about my great-great-grandpa, and it could never happen without my Grandma Agnes. Grandma Agnes, what you wrote about a family is so special. Without you, this project would have never happened, and I admire and respect you for caring so much about a family. I have loved your drawings, and that you often send them to me. You have inspired me to love drawing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this day. Grandma Esther, I want to thank you for coming today. When I was little, I remember you always read me stories to help me fall asleep. I know how big a trip it is for you to make to be here. It is very important and special that you are here to share this moment with me. You're always so kind, and you're always there for me. Simon, you're a very funny guy. You so often have something humorous to say. Thank you for being my partner in most of the things I do, from sports to video games to movies. You are a lot of fun to be with. I know we have our disagreements, but I'm glad that they're all small. You are a great brother. Mazel tov to you. I am happy that we are sharing this day to become a bar mitzvah together. Dad, I want to thank you for always pushing me to work harder and not letting my laziness from getting too much in my way. In really every aspect of my life, you help me and push me to do my best, and I feel it's true that my best gets better all the time. Mom, there are so many things I could say. Thank you for somehow not getting mad at me, even at times when you have every right to. You are amazingly kind and patient and wise. I love you both, and I thank you both for supporting me in all of my hobbies and interests. Dad and Mom, I am unbelievably grateful to you both. You have worked so hard to give me and Simon an amazing life here in Great Neck. To Rabbi Mobam, Rabbi Tara, Cantor Vlad, and Rabbi Meir, I'm grateful to every one of you. Each of you has helped me in very important ways. So let me simply close by saying thank you. To everyone here, I am grateful that you are all in my life. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. In our Parsha, we learn that Moses and Aaron's sister Miriam dies. Immediately after, the Torah tells us this, that the community was without water, and then many people from the community rose up against Moses and Aaron. They rebelled and quarreled with them. They even seemed to think it would have been better if they had died. They imagined that back in slavery they had wine, grain, figs, and pomegranate in abundance. In thinking about this passage with Rabbi Meir, we discussed a number of questions. Is it a random thing that being without water is immediately after Miriam's death? Is there a cause and effect there? Does Miriam's death have anything to do with the community's access to water? Why did the Israelites think that death would have been better than freedom? In working with Rabbi Meir, I learned that Miriam has a strong connection to water. First of all, Miriam put Moses in a basket and followed the basket all the way down the Nile until it reached the daughter of the Pharaoh. Second, as the Red Sea parts and the Israelites pass through, Miriam leads all the women in song and dance. Lastly, I have learned a rabbinic midrash, a legend, that everywhere the Israelites camped with Miriam, a well of water would spring up. At first, this legend didn't really make sense to me. I didn't understand it. How could a person make a well of water pop up wherever she was? But after talking about it and analyzing it, I have now made sense of it. I think that the water represented hope for the Israelites. I think this legend comes from the idea that Miriam gave Moses hope when she put him in the basket, and she gave the Israelites hope when they were crossing the Red Sea. This piece of Torah made me wonder, who are the hope makers in my life? My dad always gives me hope when my grades are not as good as I want. So because he works as a psychologist, he always makes sure that I know what I'm talking about. If I'm doing math when I study with him, he helps me going step by step through a problem. He helps me to believe and feel confident in myself. My mom is also an important hope maker. She helps me solve my everyday and personal problems. She helps me find solutions to my problems, and that always helps me to feel more hopeful. I think I now understand how the Torah could describe a person who could make wells pop up. Every person has a role model and someone who gives them hope, and I think this is the important idea connected to Miriam and her wells. The subject of providing hope is relevant to me in this moment in another way. I have learned during my bar mitzvah preparation about an incredibly special member of my family going back 5 generations. When my dad was talking to my grandma about my bar mitzvah, he told her that I was researching my great-great-great-grandfather, her great-grandfather. My dad then learned that my grandma had written an article about our family history. I want to tell you about my great-great-great-grandfather, Dr. Solomon Ranchberg. He served as a rabbi of the United Jewish Congregation of Ur from 1860 to 1887. He considered it his noble religious duty to study and teach. During his apprenticeship, he made long travels and put up with financial hardships and stood firm in the face of restrictive measures against minorities. He excelled in his study of philosophy, law, linguistics, and natural sciences in Prague. He was a man of amiable manners and profound knowledge, loved and respected by children and adults alike. Colleagues wrote of him. My great-great-great-grandpa's first name goes back to the Hebrew word shalom, which means peace, and appropriately so because he was a man of peace and reconciliation even during the continuous years when Hungarian Jews sought emancipation. At times, even his congregants questioned his views on reconciliation. His wife was Amelia Burl, who came from a hard-working merchant family. They had 10 children, but only 8 reached adulthood, perhaps due also to the family's difficult living conditions. Each of their 5 surviving sons became shining minds in their respective fields and carried on the family's spiritual legacy, moral commitment to God and to the human community. All of the 5 boys graduated from the secondary school of the Order of St. Benedict in Ur. Let us not forget that the mother tongue of Solomon and Amelia was German, and the language of theology and liturgy was obviously Hebrew. His Jewish congregation did not give him the title of chief rabbi in his life, only well after his death. Information about that fact was engraved on the memorial plaque on the premises of the congregation in 1926. The gesture was an expression of the congregants' gratitude for his selfless contribution to the synagogue. But that was not all. In 23 years as a rabbi in Ur, Solomon wrote Talmudic commentaries filling out 400 sheets, arranged in encyclopedic order. Alas, because of the devastations of 2 world wars, only 30 pages of his handwritten text in German and Hebrew have come down to us, preserved today in the Hungarian Jewish Library. Solomon was the first rabbi that started a registry, where the Jewish community would write their family situations, like when a baby was born, or somebody in their family got married or died, etc. He was almost 40 when he got his PhD after he graduated at the Prague University in linguistics, law, mathematics, astrology, and liberal arts. There's one more thing I want to mention. Becoming a bar mitzvah, and even more, now that I've learned about my great-great-great-grandpa, I want to continue learning more about Judaism. I know that there is so much more to learn that a 13-year-old is not really ready for. If my great-great-great-grandpa worked so hard and loved Judaism so much, I think it's important for me to try to learn a whole lot more. In addition, dear Grandpa Solomon, I want you to know that I intend to do a full fast on Yom Kippur. Lastly, I want to mention some other people who really helped me give hope in preparing for this day. Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir has helped me so much in becoming a bar mitzvah. You made preparing for my bar mitzvah fun with some of your personal stories. Also, thank you for helping me understand what my Torah portion actually means. It's kind of cool that I spent Passover Seder with you and Rabbi Ter 3 years ago, and now we celebrate together this moment of my bar mitzvah. Cantor Vlad, thank you for helping me to learn my Torah portion. I certainly hope that my voice when I'll be 16 will be close as good as yours. Rabbi Molbaum, thank you for making the retreat very memorable. Although the Holocaust Museum was a heavy experience, I will always remember the stories we heard from the survivors. Thank you again for making the retreat more fun, and thank you for being such a fun rabbi too. Parents, Dad, thank you for always being there for me and helping me with anything I needed help with. And also, thank you for showing us all of those classical comedy French movies. Mom, thank you for being the best mom in the world. Thank you for making the best goulash anybody could ever have. And thank you for being the one to watch all the action movies with me, since Dad doesn't really like them. And lastly, thank you, Zafi, our cat from Budapest, who has showed relentless patience listening to me chanting in Hebrew, even though she had no idea whatsoever was going on or what the sacred meaning of these words were. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Stay. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Yeilanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, Yeilanu. Yeilanu, Please smile. Israel. Yeilanu, Yeilanu. Ulechol Israel. Yeilanu, Yeilanu. Ulechol Israel. Yeilanu, Yeilanu. Ulechol Israel.
We remain standing as we turn to 256 and return the Torah to the Ark. 256.
Etzhaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tom hecha meushar derahecha darcheinom v'hol netivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva haresh yameinu kekadam.
You may be seated.
So, dear friends, rebels, brothers, sisters, today is probably one of the happiest days of my life. I have known it with my mind, but interestingly, I also feel a little pain. That's because in our family, Judaism stopped playing a role in our lives for about 100 years. If there was any role, it was more like source of fear or remembering painful moments. I feel like today, this kind of ends symbolically for us.
because today we are standing here as proud Jews. Today will be a cherished, and even though it doesn't seem like when you look at me, a happy Jewish memory. I have double the amount of pleasure today because I have two sons becoming bar mitzvah, which is really the Jewish doorway to adulthood. We have a Hungarian proverbial saying, one of my eyes is crying, the other is laughing. This means it's a bittersweet day. This is to say that, when you let go of your children, you're overcome with two emotions. One is happiness that they grew up, and the other is the pain that you might have to let them go. Not quite yet. Interestingly, I only experienced happiness seeing them both getting taller, stronger, smarter. I'm proud of them for having been so resilient in adapting to their new home in America. I am also proud to watch and hear you today as you recite the Torah and do something that has been done for thousands of years. There is tremendous power in knowing where our roots are and building on the tradition of God's chosen people. When I was your age, I didn't understand why we would have to follow traditions. My question was, why care about the past? Why not focus about the present and the future? Well, as Rabbi Meir likes to quote from Ahad, more than the Jews have kept the Shabbat has kept the Jews. And my version is, more than we keep the tradition of bar mitzvah, the bar mitzvah keep us Jewish. So, Abel and Simon, we love you so very much. You are both unique and very different. You both have your superpowers that will allow you to succeed in your hero's journey. I am sure you will both be heroes. In fact, you already are. And I'm sure you will find your calling. Simon has always been privately labeled as a macho with a tender heart, meaning that he was always very strong and sporty, but he had a lot of empathy for others. One day, which is a funny story about him, it's another superpower. When he was about 3, I was making a gourmet sandwich for Abel with black truffle cream and cheese. So Simon comes into the kitchen, and from 10 feet, is it truffles? Which is pretty amazing. He has been a relentless gourmand ever since, and at some point he decided to become a restaurant critic. We'll see. You have always been a great midfielder in soccer, which talks about how much team player you are. Any team that will have you in life will be lucky to have you. You will always give great passes and keep the greater good of the group on your radar. Abel's first word was no, and he hasn't stopped saying it. He has always had a private opinion or a different viewpoint. Though this is a challenge to us sometimes, it is a great resource for independence and entrepreneurial spirit. Abel, you have been a protector of the weak, and I remember how you always stood up for those being bullied or pushed around in the school. One great story about your independence and original thinking was when we were in Croatia for a holiday, and he was like 5. We were on the beach, and at some point, he stood up and ventured off. He disappeared. We didn't notice. We are very mindful parents. So at some point, we realized that he was missing. So we were with this group of friends, and everyone started looking for him in a sheer panic. Eventually, one of our friends found you about 2 miles away from where we were sitting on the beach. I remember that I wanted to be very firm about you never leaving us again without first asking for permission. So Abel's answer was, why? I never got lost. I knew where I was the whole time. And you were right. You knew, but we didn't. Anyway, so as a parent, you always struggle to not forget what it is like to be a child or a teenager. Well, this includes remembering that a bar mitzvah speech should not be very long, and we shouldn't put you on the spot too long. I'm not sure how well I'm doing. With all our efforts and care as a parent, we want to give you an inner compass that will always be there for you and always point forward. We want to convince you that true happiness and satisfaction only comes from finding meaning in your activities, and having a clear sense of higher purpose. I know it's still kind of early, but I think today is a big milestone as you gradually leave the realm of childhood and begin to enter the realm of adulthood. What I see in you, Simon, is the strength and the spirit to hold the attention of the crowd. You are a great entertainer and speaker and a selfless team player. I'm so curious what will become of this and how can we support you reaching your goals and vision. When I look at Abel, well, I see someone who could start a movement and lead others to stand up for their principles. I can't wait to find out what your cause is going to be. I believe that the most important value in our family is freedom, growth, and valuing relationships. Freedom and growth come from within, but you can only truly experience this in a relationship with others. Please know that we don't just want to be your parents, we are ambitious. We also want to be friends. I know you might find this a little too ambitious, but we want to help you to experience freedom and growth with us and also from us and also in the world. Finally, allow me to express gratitude to those who are here and to those who can't be here today because of the distance. I would like to thank my mother for always being there for me as a trusted advisor and reminding me that I was Jewish, even though she's a member of a Catholic convent. Thank you for being here with us today. I know it wasn't an easy journey. Let me say this in Hungarian. Köszönöm, anya, hogy eljöttél. Tudom, hogy nehéz volt, és nagyon sokat jelent, hogy itt vagy. That was your Hungarian lesson. Thank you to all of our family for being a strong support and a support community for us. I want to thank Esther, Boris' mother, and the grandmother of Abel and Simon for being a relentless force of good in Abel and Simon's life. I know that they will never forget who you are. They will never forget the smell of delicious pancakes cooking early in the morning in your house in Balaton, where we always go for a lakeside family vacation every year. I also want to thank our friends for being our family today. I want to thank Rob for being my brother and making it possible for us to be here in Great Neck. We couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank you, Judith, for treating our kids as yours. It means a lot to us. I also want to thank our new friends, Debbie, Irene, Marjan, and Seppi, and Jack, and Joel, and Jonathan, and Meredith, and Paul for being our sisters and brothers and sharing the honors with us today. You are all very special to us and mean a lot. Thanks to our spiritual mentors, Rabbi Meir and Tara. Thank you to Temple Beth-El for being an accepting and warm community. Thank you, Cantor Vlad, for being a patient and inspiring cantor. And for Rabbi Milbaum for an unforgettable 6th grade retreat. Finally, our prayer goes to those who can't be here today, those who passed away, those who couldn't travel today, great and great-great-grandfather Shlomo and Paul. They would be so proud of you too. You are in our hearts. God bless you all, and God bless America for allowing us to live the amazing life we live here with all of you. Thank you.
This parsha, as you've heard, is about so many things, all these events, striking rocks, and much, much else. I think it's also a Torah portion about leadership, because again and again, the people that we thought we could rely on, first Moses and then Aaron and Miriam, they kind of, we learn that they're gone or they're going to go. We have to stand up on our own, and I think that's an incredible model of really what your dad was talking about. Like the real leadership is that freedom to let people go and be themselves. And we have amazing leaders in this community. And some of them are really up in the front, and some of them are all about supporting us to make us be our best, even when they don't get any credit. And that's an incredible model of leadership. And so it's my honor to call up such a person, Randy Weiler, who helps us in our religious school and in so many other ways to reach our very best. So really symbolizing our community as a whole, all the circles of connection who are not in this room but who are here. Randy.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's hard to follow what beautiful Devar Torahs and a beautiful speech by your dad. Abel and Simon, you both did a beautiful job in this morning's service. What a pleasure it was for me to be a part of it. I know how special it is to be sharing this day with your sibling, as my daughters became Benot Mitzvah together here at Temple Beth-El 5 years ago. I'm sure that your parents, family, and friends are, as your father said, doubly proud of you. On behalf of the rabbis, Cantor Board of Trustees of Temple Beth-El, I'm honored to present you with this certificate of Bar Mitzvah. And we also have a Kiddush cup from the Brotherhood and Sisterhood, a gift certificate towards travel to Israel with Nifty, the Jewish Book of Y, and a travel Chumash. Mazel Tov, this was a wonderful morning. Mazel Tov, Abel and Simon, may you go from this important accomplishment to many others.
You have one final test for your becoming bar mitzvah. Simon, take your envelope. Abel, you take yours. And you have to do what real men have to know how to do, which is to put it in your breast pocket. Hopefully you'll pass this one. Ooh, very good. I don't practice this. All right. Excellent. So I want to share a message with you. I have truly loved the time we've spent together these last weeks and months and years. You didn't know way back when how many challenges your parents had presented for you, or how extraordinarily well the two of you would meet those challenges. I remember back a couple years ago at our first Passover Seder together with your wonderful grandma who's here. It was so special for me and Tara to have her and all of you in our home. You two were a little shy, very polite. You talked just a little, but played your yo-yo a lot. You were a bit confused, but always seemed open, interested, eager to learn and take the next steps. It's awesome right now to see how you've grown and matured and become such special young men. So listen to a simple verse from your Parsha, and let me explain why this is the verse that I'm giving the two of you. Vayera kavod Adonai alehem, vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, which means the presence of Adonai appeared to them, to Moses and Aaron, and Adonai spoke to Moses. This verse, it's actually two little passages, two clauses, a clause from two verses that are right next to each other. Your verse hints at two questions. What does it mean for the presence of Adonai to appear to a person? All of a sudden, Adonai appears to you. What's it mean? And what does it mean for a person to hear Adonai's voice? So Abel and Simon experiencing God, hearing God's voice, is challenging even when you are in a very familiar place. a holy place, a synagogue or church. Even a place like here, it's hard. Even when we are totally in comfortable conditions, it can be a challenge. I bet your extraordinary Grandma Agnes has a lot of wisdom on this subject. Like your Parsha, you have been on an amazing journey. You spoke about it. Each of you did. You've faced obstacles and challenges of all kinds. Language, culture, teenage personalities, to name a few. As in our Parsha, it's as if you faced and conquered the dangerous and fiery seraphim, the winged-like angels who occasionally make us feel that we're about to burn up, disappear, or simply fail to meet the challenges in front of us. You've had those feelings at moments. I want to share a teaching from Rabbi David Aaron, who lives in the old city of Jerusalem. He's got a beard now, long white beard. It's about the presence of Adonai. We often use the word God, but I want to tell you what he says. He begins like this. He says, quite frankly, I'm quoting him, quite frankly, I don't believe in God. This is David Aaron from the old city of Jerusalem. The word G-O-D has nothing for me. In fact, it interferes with my true belief. I'm not alone. Jews don't believe in God, G-O-D. Indeed, the word God is not found in the Torah or the rest of the Hebrew Bible. Moses never heard of God, nor heard from God. New? What are we talking about? We talk about God so often. Our conversations when we were together often focused in a certain way on building, on strengthening our belief. So what's going on here? What's Rabbi Aaron, this Orthodox Jew, talking about? He continues. The name in the Torah that has been translated as God or Lord is Adonai. That word is twice in the verse I'm giving you. The word Adonai means master. Consider this, he says. If we are the master and owners of our lives, then we can stop our life and start it whenever we want. We can stop our heart beating and then start it again at will. So too our thoughts and feelings. If we are their masters, then we can stop and start our thinking and feeling whenever we please. But we cannot. Our heart is constantly beating, and we are constantly thinking and feeling. And so too our will. Even our will is not our own. We did not invent will. We are not the source of will. We do not have the choice to have a will. What we do with our will, how we direct and invest it, is our choice. What to choose is our choice. But the fact that we are able to choose is not our choice. Simon and Abel, what David Aaron is teaching is true, and I think there's something beautiful about it. We are not masters of our body, our mind, or will. We don't own them, but we do have the responsibility to choose how to exercise them. Claiming our responsibility to make choices is a thing of beauty. You too have traveled through many challenging places, faced real obstacles, and with God's help and the help of so many others, you have made so many positive and beautiful choices. For all of us who know you, there's no question that you have chosen to become more wise and mature, more loving and courageous throughout this incredible journey. Says Rabbi Aaron, our daily life is a partnership with God. God provides the raw materials, the substance, and we determine the form. We don't have the choice to want, to think, and feel. We're always wanting, thinking, and feeling. But we can choose what we want, what we think, and what we feel. We didn't choose to be born, but we can choose what to make of our lives, how to live the superhero, as your dad talks about so often. Our goal, according to Judaism, Rabbi Aaron concludes, is to take the powers God shares with us and turn them into thanks and praise. Created in the image of God, we are meant to mirror God's splendor and glory. So I think Rabbi Aaron is suggesting this. He's saying keep it simple. Have one goal for everything we do. Just one simple, profound goal, but just one. Always, every moment, strive to be a loving, caring, wise, and beautiful image of God. Whether you're at home on a lazy summer day or in school or on the soccer field, on a yo-yo tournament, traveling to Hungary, or anything else, you have one job. Show the world that the image of God, you, is full of splendor. And so my blessing for you both. May you think of this bar mitzvah experience every time the Torah comes out of the ark. May we have many opportunities in the coming years to learn and grow and to have fun together. May you know that every act you choose will reflect on God. May God's reflection in your deeds help you feel proud to be a Jew, and may your Judaism always push you to become a kinder and wiser, more courageous and more caring human being. Finally, may you know that there are very few paths in life, if any, that will nurture your soul as much as your Jewish path. Please rise.
Yevarech Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Amen. Amen. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגר עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
As always, we conclude our service taking a moment for memory. And with this B'nai Mitzvah, those memories feel so potent and so alive, so profound. So the Feher family is thinking of Shandor Lackey, Shlomo Ransberg, Geza Ransberg, and Paul Rashberg. If I said them wrong. Are there any other names for Kaddish? Anyone in any period of mourning, feel free to rise and say the name and remain standing. guys as a community. Kaddish is on 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony and peace and healing on high bring all of those to us, to all Israel, to all humanity. We say one last time. Amen. So we remain standing for Kiddush and Motzi. And thank you so much to our ushers. I don't know if they're still here, but, well, the Fehers and Langs are. Thank you. And also to the Palavetskis. It'll help them if you'll bring your programs out with you.
Leave the prayer book where it is in the place in front of you.
And Vishamru.
Page 300. Please join with us.
And we're also raising a glass.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם.
כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו סברי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
And just before we lift up the challah, it's great to see you again, sir.
AJ.
And Elaine. And really thank you for our Torah study, Chevra, that came after services in your non-fancy clothes because you wanted to be here for this incredible moment. Really. And some of you in your fancy clothes. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
And to conclude our services, we're going to conclude with Adon Olam in a moment, but before we do that, we have to wish Rabbi Meir a very happy birthday. So please join in the singing of Happy Birthday with us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mayor. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oseh shalom. Oseh shalom.
I think we're going to do a Don Alum to happy birthday or something.
Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, imru.
Amen.
Yaseh shalom. Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.